Hi guys, Michael here and welcome to another Just My Opinion, and today we are on a subject that I kind of have personal involvement in my life. I mean, it's about Deji and KSI basically. I mean, I don't have personal involvement in anything to do with them, but I've kind of experienced a very similar thing to what they're going through. So I do have an opinion about this. I have been asked about it, so I thought to mix it because I can say what I think, and I was at least asked. So let's get into this. Now, one thing you do need to know is I haven't got a dog in this fight. I haven't got a side that I'm on, because I really do believe that nobody's perfect, and wrong comes from both sides. Although it might seem like I come down on one more than the other, but that's because when one person claims to be doing nothing wrong and is, I tend to come down on them more than somebody who says yes, I am doing wrong. So we're gonna get into this. So as I said, if you're interested and you've got an opinion, please remember there's a comment section below, and you have a right to put your opinion in there. Just be respectful as usual. Okay, so let's get into this. Firstly, the reason I know about this is I have a brother, and which some of you may know if you've been with me for a while. And me and my brother have a very strained relationship at times. He has there's something in his life, and it puts strain on the family. It's nothing dark and sinister. It's just kind of an addiction thing. It's not drugs, but it's an addiction thing, and it puts a lot of pressure on family. Because of that, and I'm such a strong lover of family and the family value, I have felt such anger at him for what he's done, and for how at times I've felt like he's put a wedge between the family. So I have been so many times at the point of disowning him. But you see, I see the gravity of that, and I see what it'll do to the family. And even though I'm the younger brother, sometimes that means you don't have to be the oldest to always be the most mature, and sometimes you have to take a knock for the greater good. I'm not perfect, but me and my brother have never supported each other much in anything, and it's like I don't support him mainly because the only thing he does is this. I'll tell you, he gambles. He's got a gambling addiction. The only thing he does that mostly is gamble. So it makes it so that I feel very angry at him, but I don't say anything, mainly because I know it would hurt the family. People want to see us both. People want to talk to us both. The family want to see us both. They don't want to see us. They don't want the family split apart. Nobody does. No, nobody in the family does. Even if they have took a side, they still don't want to see it. They want to see the family as a unit. So many times I bite my tongue and I don't say anything, because I want the family to be a unit, and I have to be the mature one. He can't be. He does kick off. It reminds me of how Deji's been. He does all these things, and then he's like, nobody supports me, nobody does this, nobody helps me. And it's like, well, that's because we don't agree with what you're doing. We're not going to support you gambling, but at the same time, we will support you if you try and stop it. If you do make an effort to stop, we will be there for you, but we're not going to support you in it. Yeah, so a lot of the time, I so want to just step away, but at the same time, I don't want the family unit to be broke. So I don't. I guess that's part of being a brother. I don't know. Maybe it's part of being the mature one. I don't know. But I don't. Because somebody has to do it, and somebody has to value the family unit. So when I saw Deji going at KSI like I did, a few things kind of came to mind. For one, I couldn't understand why Deji suddenly went for KSI. Everything was going normal. Randolph made a comment about his channel being dead. Deji hasn't got the personality, in my eyes, as I see it, just for me, this is just my opinion, he hasn't got the personality to be able to handle bad things online. He's one of them kind that lets bad comments get to him, and if he gets a lot of downvotes on something, it gets to him. He's one of them kind of people, whereas there's others that just let it go over the head. They don't care. Like water off a duck's back. I mean, one thing I always used to say, when I had people watching my channel a lot more, I'd have people say, what advice would you give to being a YouTuber? And the very first piece of advice I'd always give, was you need a thick skin. That's what I always told people. Before talent or before good equipment or before personality or before this and that, the first thing I always listed was you need a thick skin, because the better you are, the more famous you are, the more spotlight you're going to get on you, and the more spotlight you get on you, the more hate you're going to get. That's why you never see big videos being made of unknown people, really small channels being pulled apart, because nobody gives a shit about the small channels. They're not a good target because nobody cares about them. So they wait till you get big, then they come for you, then they target you. People hate success stories most of the time because they haven't got it. The reason people hate on people on the big YouTubers is because they haven't got the fame or the money or whatever that the big YouTubers have got. Yeah, you haven't got that, but you also haven't got the fact that you're always a target. You always haven't got the death threats. You haven't also, because that's partly why I don't want to be big. That's why I've passed up avenues of advancement, because I don't want to be big. For the simple reason is because the bigger you are, the more of a target you are. People will target you. Death threats, hatred, all just because you've done well for yourself. I don't want that. But I always tell people, if you're going to be big, you've got to have a thick skin, because that's going to come. That's the downside to it. And you've got to be strong enough to cope with that. And if you're not, you're going to be in trouble. And I don't think Deji has that kind of personality. In reality, Randolph saying, oh yeah, when he said, on that Family Fortunes game, name a dead channel, and he went Deji. Deji should have just said, ha ha ha, fuck you, and just left it at that. And just said nothing else. He didn't need a full response where he were calling him a bitch and, JJ's cameraman and then having to go to his, and then say you never see your wife and all this kind of thing. It's like, why? There were no point to it. I understand you didn't like the response, but let's face it, if you look at KSI's face, he didn't like it either. It's not like he laughed and went, haha, here it is. He had a straight face when, saying, no, that's my bro. And I just think you should have just marked it down as, here's another person who obviously I can't trust, who says nasty things, screw him. But I'm not going to make a big deal out on it, especially online in front of everybody. So anyway, he did. He made a big deal. So Randolph makes a diss track called Man-Child and basically says to him, about, you can look for it. I'll just give you a title. You can listen to it yourself. I'm not going to go into details at every lyric and everything. But basically, Randolph Man-Child, and it's called Man-Child. Called it Man-Child for a reason, because basically, we're saying you live at home and people have to pay things for you, and you don't pay for yourself in anything, and when you're at the Simon House, you don't pay rent and everything and all this, and of course, it escalated things. And he did say, keep my wife out your mouth. Now, I'm not going to argue with that, you see, because I've always said I don't like innocent people being dragged in. I didn't like it when KSI brought Chloe Bennett into the Logan Paul thing, because she'd done nothing wrong. I don't believe innocent people should be brought in. I truly don't. And I know in diss tracks they say, well, there is nothing off limits. Maybe. But that doesn't mean I've got to like it. It doesn't mean that I've got to agree with it. And I don't agree. I do not agree that it's a good idea to bring innocent people into these things. You knew enough about Randolph to be able to attack him. You know enough about him. You've hung around with him for a while. He says he's been your wingman at times. You've spoken DMs. You know each other. You could have gone at him with other things. You didn't need to go after his wife. And then Deji does a diss track called Ran, where straight away he starts with about fucking his wife like a horse and things like that. And it's like, and then saying a dress were cheap, a wedding dress were cheap, and all this. Sure enough, that upsets Randolph's wife, so he comes back with one called Victory Speech, which it starts up again on Deji. Although the difference is that even though he did mention Deji's mother and father, he didn't actually say anything bad about him. He just said about you still live with your mother and father kind of thing. But Deji went for wife again. So of course he came back at him, and there was some stuff on there that Deji got really angry about, because there were these little audio snippets of these girls saying like, "Oh, I was 16," and he was asking me for nudes and how I'd show me a video on how I'd ride him and all this kind of thing. And Deji got really angry about it. And he said that when he was 17, 18, he did this kind of thing, where he'd say to fans, send me some nudes. Now, the girl was 16, right? Now, before anybody kicks off too greatly, let me just point out something. In UK, the sexual age of consent is 16. Okay? So, legally, she was old enough to go into any kind of sexual encounter by her own recognizance. Okay? Just so you know that. So then Deji went absolutely crazy, saying that Randolph was trying to call him a paedophile, which confused me greatly, because according to Deji, he did this when he was 17, 18, she was 16. So A, she was old enough to do that if she wanted to. This wasn't some guy getting a child to send these pictures. This was a girl who was of the age to be able to sexually make these choices, to send pictures like that. And B, if he was only 17, 18 like he says, it was a year or 2 years older. That is a natural, almost relationship age. People don't do relationships exactly at the same age. You know, it's not like we have to be exactly the same age. There's some people who have got a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 year difference, even more, double figures in some cases. As long as they're both old enough, as long as they're both classed as adults from a sexual point of view, that they have the choices to make, the age to make these choices, the age to make these choices, then it isn't obviously a crime. There isn't, I mean, it's like, I think in some countries, it's like, oh, you know, they can do sexual things at a younger age, but you can still be prosecuted if it goes too far, because it's only at an older age that it's, you know, this is in some countries. It's only at an older age where they're classed as being completely free to do everything. But they can do certain things at a younger age. It can get confused and blurred like that. But with the UK it isn't. It's just 16. That's it. So there was no paedophile. There was none. I mean, even though it's very, very, very weird. Even if it were a 50-year-old guy and she wanted to send him nudes, that's up to her. It's freaky as fuck, completely weird, and it would make my skin crawl like mad, and it would everybody, hopefully. But at the end of the day, it's not morally right if it's somebody really old and somebody who's like 16. But the point is, from a legal point of view, if she's 16, she can do what she wants. And he's only a year or two older. So how is that making him? How is that making him a paedophile? How is that making it so they try to ruin his career? Maybe I'm wrong. I know sexual age is wrong. I know it's 16, but I mean, maybe I'm not seeing something. Maybe there's a law that's out there that says if it comes to being sent nudes, you've got to be 18. You can go and have sex, full on sex, but if you're asking for nudes, then I don't know, they've got to be 18. I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm really confused, because Deji's whole argument is based on the fact that KSI gave information about this with these girls to Randolph, and that Randolph and KSI were trying to ruin his career and make him look like a paedophile. And it's like, where are they doing that? Where are they making you look like you're a sicko? Like you're a pervert? Where? You're a year older, 2 years older than her. You're asking for news because you're a horny guy, which, trust me, being a guy, I understand when you're young. She is at an age where she's sexually free to make all of these decisions. She can go into having full-on sex and make a family from 16. So she can make a decision about sending a few nudes out. So why is that them trying to ruin your career? It doesn't make sense. See, I didn't understand it when Randolph even said it. It's like asking your fan for nudes. It's like, well, why is that? Am I missing something here? I'm sure he said she was 16. So I thought to myself then, well, she's old enough to make her own decisions. If you don't want to send them, you don't send them. If you do want to send them, you send them. Why? Honestly, I am so not caught up in this. I am so confused about this part. This is the whole premise of all this trouble. And I'm sat there thinking, well, I don't get it. When Randolph said it, I thought, well, why are you even putting that in your diss like it's something bad? Why is that a diss? You asked a girl who's 16, so she's sexually old enough to make that decision, if you could have some nudes. She said no. Move on. That's life. No harm, no foul. She said no. You move on. Now, if it was the part where he gets a bit shitty with her, you know, like a bit short-tempered with her, or like bratting about it, then yeah, okay, he was bratting because he didn't get his nudes. That could look a bit childish, admittedly. But the fact that he asked for them is not illegal. So I don't understand why Deji's placing all, because Deji's basically whole argument is on that. My brother keeps letting my brother let me down. My brother tried to end me. My brother tried to get me in trouble. And it's like, but did he? I mean, for one, here's another thought, Deji. There's a lot of people that know you in the Sidemen who know you really well. Nearly as good as KSI does. So why couldn't any of them said anything? Why does it have to be KSI? Why? And then you said yourself, oh, he read this. He read the, Randolph showed him and he agreed to let it go out. Deji, it's a diss track. What do you expect Randolph to say? Deji, you call yourself Comedy Shorts Gamer, but you don't play games, and your channel's dying, and, you're just not a good person. Is that what you wanted Randolph's diss track to say? Deji, you said you were going to fuck his wife and shit like that. What? But yet, he can't come up with lies about you. When old diss track season were on, Road to Shore Harry, he was saying all sorts of shit about KSI, saying they were doing prostitutes, doing drugs and all sorts of things. It's what you do. It's a diss track. Yeah, you tell lies. Yeah, you paint the truth a bit. You did same. You do same. Everybody does it. And then you stand there, trying to convince everybody that you're telling truth when you weren't. Some things are true, some things are lie. That's just like Randolph. Some things he told were true, some things he told were lie. Some things you told were true, some things you told were lie. All diss tracks do it. That's what you do. You put in some truths and then sprinkle a few lies in just to make it worse. Why would KSI stop that? Mainly, maybe because he looked at it like I did. Like, oh, well, they're 16, so it's not like he's doing out underage. Okay, that's how I'd have looked at it. I just looked at it as like, what, he asked a 16-year-old for nudes? Well, she was 16. And he were, 17, 18? So what? What's big deal? She's old enough she's legally old enough. Boom. Yeah, you just went absolutely ballistic. So then let's move forward a little bit more. I'm sorry this is babbling on, but like I say, I'm quite into this because of my brother because of me with my brother kind of thing. But okay, so let's move on a little. Okay, then Deji decides to make a diss track with Dax, Crypt, and Jallo, and himself, all on KSI. Now, meanwhile, KSI does a tweet basically saying, "Look, I know you've gone to LA to do a diss track and maybe appear on Logan Paul's podcast. I'm asking you not to because it's family." Now, Deji says that on the phone, KSI gave him permission to do the diss track, but then in public he said don't do it. Deji, that's because you can sometimes think about things and you can sometimes rethink about things and change your mind. At the time he agreed, he may have just been very apologetic and not wanting to seem like he were putting pressure on you by telling you what to do, but then later on thought about it and realised how far this were going to go and how it was going to only get worse, so he was trying to stop it. That's what I see. And then you've recently just let a video. I'm going to jump to your newest video where you've been talking about your brother kind of thing. Your last video on it, you said that basically KSI did his apology video to you to stop you dropping a diss track, right? Now, here's the time where you could be, like I said at the very start when I was playing the mature one. This is where you could be the mature one. You could say, because after all, it's you saying you support him through everything, you always think of him, you think of the family, you're always putting them first. So here's your chance to prove it. He does a video where he's apologising, right? Now you can look at this and think, okay, well, I could accept this apology. I could not release this diss track. I could not go on Logan Paul and I could just go home and we'll sort it. And in the end, I'll be the mature one. If he can't be, I'm sat there saying that I always stick up for the family, I support the family, I support my brothers and everything. So I'll do that. I'll be the mature one, just like I am with my brother. You could do that. But what were your reasoning for laying that diss track out? At least you said in your video, I'd already shot it. It cost me 30 grand. So you could have been the mature one and sort this family shit out and get your family back on course, but you decided you were going to keep it going because you'd shot it. You'd shot the video. So you were out of some money. So because you were out some money, you were going to release it and just keep the shit going and keep the troubles going and keep and you not be the mature one and sort this. What you've got to realise is, Deji, that KSI has done wrong. He has admitted he's not been there for his family, and that's crap. That's not good. I have to admit, because hey, I think a lot of family unit and care about that a lot. And I do have a big view of YouTubers when they become big, kind of not being with the family and things like that. Because I mean, yeah, they're very busy, but to me, you should always find time for your family, and that doesn't show well on KSI. But in this situation, Deji's done note to you. All he did, according to you, was tell Randolph he could release this diss track, and you accused him of giving him Randolph information when you have no proof he did it. You have no proof. There's no tweet or text or anything where he's admitted that he released, that he did give any information to Randolph. You have no proof of it. Your attack on him is supposition and just guesswork. I think you gave Randolph information, therefore I'm going to do a diss track on you. I think, and that's what your attack is. I think, I guess, I think. And because of that, you have turned your attentions off the person who was attacking you, Randolph, and you've gone after KSI. And you've turned your focus completely on him from guesswork. And I think that's just shitty, because if you're going to rip up family, if you're going to do something that's going to attack family, then at least have proof that you've got it. I mean, if I did it, I've got proof. My brother's gambling has put a lot of pressure on family. There's been a lot of arguments and that. And because people like me and a few others have played the mature card and not let the family unit get torn apart, it's kept going and it's okay. But you just decided to go after KSI from things you think. I think you gave him information, KSI, that's it, I hate you. That's what you've basically done. I can't forgive you for giving him the information that I think you've given him. You've got no proof. Other sidemen could have given him that information. Maybe he had them information himself. Maybe them girls got in touch with Randolph when he were making these diss tracks, tell him stories about you. I don't know. You don't know. You can't prove it. But you've decided you're going to go after him. And when you had the chance, when you made that video saying sorry and things like that, when you had the chance to be the mature one and stop this, no, I'm not. I'm going to let diss track out. Why? Well, not mainly because I hate you, but I've paid for it. I've paid for it now, so I should really lay it out. Because I'm 30,000 out of pocket, so it's worth keeping my family tearing apart over this because for 30,000 out of pocket. Really? Dax and Crip want to get a shit. They're talented anyway. Dax is he pours talent. Talent oozes out of that guy. Crypt is just phenomenal. They wouldn't have cared. If you paid them all, they got the money, they'd have gone back, they'd have carried on their thing. Nobody known, no harm, no foul. You could have done that. You could have squashed it, because you're the one that has no proof that he's ever done, that KSI has done anything. He said he never gave him any information, that he never gave Randolph any information. Randolph said he never got any information off him, and you can't prove it. But you are still going at him. And you're saying, oh, he tried to ruin my career. No, he didn't. 16-year-olds are legally aged. It's not illegal. So you can't claim that either. So what is your reason? Are you going to think up a new one? Because to be honest with you, you're wrong. KSI is completely wrong to really kind of ignore family when he shouldn't do. But your reasons for doing this and putting this much pressure on family is very, very wrong. And you're doing it just basically all out of guesswork and a feeling that they're trying to ruin you when it wasn't even illegal. Nothing Randolph said made you sound like a paedophile because you weren't doing anything illegal. She was 16. Now, yeah, in some countries where they're 18 or 20, they might think it sounds weird if the legal age is 18 or 20, but all you've got to care about, my friend, is what matters in this country. And in UK, it's 16. So you were not looking like a paedophile. It just is what it is. Even if you were, and especially for the fact you're only a year or two older than her anyway. I mean, yeah, as people get older, it looks a bit more and more freaky and more weird, and that person does look more and more like a bit of a perv, but it's still not illegal. It's still not illegal. Anyway, that's what I've got to say on this. End of day, KSI, you were wrong about your family, to not see your family. You were wrong maybe not to support Deji and everything. This time's he needed you. But, Deji, let me give you one last thing. Nobody signs a contract at birth saying that they should be supported. Just like nobody signs a contract at birth saying life's going to be easy. Life's going to kick your ass. Life's going to beat you. You're going to be beaten and battered. Because life ain't easy. And when somebody don't support me, because of my brother and now he's had an addiction, he's never supported me really through anything. And you know what? I don't care. Because I don't need people to support me. I can do my own thing. I don't need people to pat me on the head and tell me what's great. This has nothing to do with living at home. I have no problems with that. I understand. You live at home, you love your parents, I'm absolutely behind you 100% with that. do it, my friend. Stay at home, love your parents, be there for them, that's great, okay? This has nothing to do with that. What I'm saying is that nobody guarantees that they're going to support you. You're an adult, you're not a child. Grow up, support yourself. If somebody does show support, then that's great. It's an added bonus. It's an added bonus, and that's going to be great, and that's great. Take that support and appreciate it. But if people don't support you, well, you're an adult. Get over it. Live with it. You don't need support. Your life ain't going to fall apart without support. And if you're the kind of person where you give a lot more support than you're given, well, that just shows how much of a good person you are. But nobody has to give back to what you give. There's nothing saying that because you show support that people have to show support back. It's like with friendship. Just because you're a good friend doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get everybody being a good friend back. Many times in my life, I've been a really good friend and backed my friends through things. And then when I've looked for their backing in something, they've not been there. But I've still gone ahead and done what I've needed to do. Because I don't need them. You don't need support. You don't need people to hold your hand. You're an adult. And if they do show support, then be grateful. If they don't, carry on. The point is, KSI hasn't shot a single bullet your way in insult or in diss track or anything, and you've done nothing but basically load up an AK and just start firing at him. You're not even firing at Randolph, who started all this. You've completely dropped that. Even Crypt in the diss track took shots at Randolph because he hadn't let him off a hook. You've completely you're not even trying for Randolph anymore. You're just going for a new target. And you haven't even got proof that new target, KSI, did anything wrong. And you're willing to bet your family on it. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. I'm sorry I've droned on so long, guys. And if I haven't got to end of this, I understand. I don't blame you. I've droned on a hell of a lot. But it's just this has a link into my life, into how our family is with me. So, kind of a little bit, I had kind of a horse in this race from my own point of view. Anyway, if you did listen to the end of this and you've got comments to make, please put them in the comments. And if you want to say anything, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. If you do, then again, that's fine. Be respectful, remember, and I'll be happy to comment back to you and debate anything you want to debate or talk about. And if you've got experiences in this, then yeah, give your opinion on it and maybe give me insight in another way that I haven't seen. Because right now, I'm just very confused with him. Anyway, guys, you take really good care. Thanks for listening, and goodbye for now.